All right, folks, buckle up because today we're diving headfirst into a world of perfectly timed departures, color-coded lines, and a fascinating history that intertwines with the very soul of a city. That's right, we're tackling the Tokyo Metro. Get ready to navigate it like a pro. But before we get lost in the maze of lines and stations, a quick heads up. Tokyo Metro, Toei Subway, not the same thing.
Two different ball games, different teams, different rule.
Exactly. And you know what they say about different rules? They're there for a reason, especially when it comes to fares and transfers. Trust me, you'll want to keep them straight. But hey, enough about the present. Let's jump into a time machine and rewind back to 1927.
1927, a time when flapper dresses and jazz music were all the rage. But in Tokyo, something even more revolutionary was taking place. The birth of the Tokyo Underground Railway.
1927. That's almost a century ago. Hard to imagine Tokyo without its sprawling metro network, but every journey begins with a single step, or in this case, a single track.
And what a track it was. They designed it with wider tracks than other lines at the time, a visionary move that would shape the future of the Tokyo Metro.
Forward thinking, for sure, but I imagine a lot has changed since those early days.
You're telling me. As Tokyo grew, so did its subway system. Eventually, the Tokyo Underground Railway became part of a larger organization, the Tito Rapid Transit Authority, or TRTA, sometimes called IDEN.
Right, because you can't just have one line forever. So we're talking about a
Well,
major expansion, but was it all smooth sailing?
let's just say it's a bit of a winding tale, a reflection of Japan's evolving approach to public-private partnerships.
Intriguing. It's amazing how a city's infrastructure can mirror its economic and political journey. It's
Yeah.
like we're already uncovering hidden layers beneath the surface. Okay, so we've journeyed from the birth of the Tokyo Underground Railway to the rise of the TRTA. What happened next in this evolution?
Well, picture this. It's 2004. Japan's economy is undergoing major reforms under Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi.
Reforms, huh? Sounds serious.
And one of the areas that got a shakeup was, you guessed it, the Tokyo Metro.
Shake up, makeover, it's all about keeping things fresh.
Well,
So that's when the Tokyo Metro, as we know it today, officially got its name.
exactly. They streamlined the organization, gave it a modern look, and bam, the Tokyo Metro was born.
Catchy name, sleek rebranding, I like it.
Good.
But let's move from names to what matters, the trains themselves. I mean, the Tokyo Metro is legendary for its punctuality. Is that true or just hype?
It's true. We're talking trains arriving every 3 to 6 minutes during peak hours, like clockwork.
Wow, every 3 to 6 minutes. In my city, we're lucky if the train shows up within the same hour. So, spill the beans. How do they manage that level of precision?
It all boils down to a few key factors. First, meticulous maintenance. Think of those trains as finely tuned instruments.
So they're constantly fine-tuning and making sure everything's in tip-top shape.
Precisely. They don't wait for things to break down. They have a proactive approach to maintenance.
Smart. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. But it's not just about the mechanics, right?
Spot on. It's deeply rooted in Japanese culture, this emphasis on punctuality. It's about respect for everyone's time, a shared understanding that time is precious.
It's amazing how that cultural value translates into something as practical as a subway system.
Yeah.
And it creates this positive cycle, right? The system's reliable, so people trust it. And because people trust it,
They show up on time, which keeps everything running smoothly. It's a beautiful thing.
a well-oiled machine powered by punctuality and trust.
Huh.
Speaking of which, let's talk about the sheer volume of people this well-oiled machine transports. Over 6.5 million riders every single day. That's mind-boggling.
It is, and it's a testament to how efficiently the Tokyo Metro operates. They've mastered the art of moving people, even during the infamous rush hour.
Okay, now that's something I got to see to believe.
Yeah.
But let's get real for a sec. How easy is it for someone who doesn't speak Japanese to navigate this massive system?
You'd be surprised. The Tokyo Metro is incredibly user-friendly, even if you don't speak the language.
Whew, that's a relief. Because while I love a good adventure, getting lost in translation on public transit isn't my idea of fun. So what makes it so easy?
Well, they've made sure that announcements aren't just in Japanese, you'll hear them in English too. Plus, signage in stations is often in multiple languages. English, sometimes even Chinese and Korean.
So no need to panic if you don't speak Japanese. They've got you covered.
Exactly. They've really gone the extra mile to make it easy for visitors to find their way. And here's a game changer. The ticket machines also have English language options.
That's huge. No more deciphering complicated instructions with a confused look on your face.
Not to mention, they use a super easy to understand color coding and numbering system for all the lines.
Now that's a language everyone understands. Speaking of making life easier, we have to talk about the Pasmo and Suka cards. They sound like magic to me.
They pretty much are. These rechargeable cards are the key to stress-free travel in Tokyo. You just load them up with credit and boom, tap and go. No more fumbling for coins or struggling to understand fare charts.
That's what I'm talking about. Convenience is key when you're exploring a new city. And here's a bonus. They're not just for the metro, are they?
You're right. They work on other rail lines in Tokyo and even other cities in Japan. So you can use the same card for the JR lines, the private lines, even some buses and ferries.
Wow. Talk about streamlined travel. Though one thing for our listeners who might be night owls, the Tokyo Metro isn't a 247 operation.
You're right. Most lines shut down between midnight and 5 a.m. It's something to keep in mind if you're out late exploring.
Always good to have a plan B for those late-night adventures. Okay, so we've covered the history, the efficiency, the user-friendliness, but let's be real.
Yeah,
We're not here to just admire the Tokyo Metro from afar.
right.
We want to experience it. So let's talk about those 9 iconic lines, each one with its own personality, its own story to tell. Where do we even begin?
Well, if you're looking for a trip back in time, the Ginza line is calling your name.
The OG.
The granddaddy of them all. That vintage 1927 charm. Imagine those early passengers, those sleek carriages.
And those wide tracks, we talked about those earlier. It's amazing how they had the foresight to design a system that could handle Tokyo's growth.
Absolutely. Talk about thinking ahead. But hey, maybe you're looking for something a bit more, shall we say, off the beaten path.
Ooh, intrigue me.
Hop on the Marunouchi line. It's a loop line, circles around the city center.
A loop. That sounds fun.
It is, and because it's a loop, it tends to be a little less crowded than some of the other lines. Plus, it goes through some really cool neighborhoods. Great for exploring.
Less crowded, you say. Okay, that's going straight to the top of my list. But we can't forget about the new kid on the block.
Ah, you're talking about the Fukutoshin line.
The one with all the latest tech, right?
Exactly. Modern trains, sleek design. But the really cool part, the tunnels.
Okay, what about them?
They go deep, like really deep. Some sections are over 40 meters below ground.
Wow. 40 meters. That's like, what, 12 stories?
Something like that. It's an engineering marvel, really. Imagine digging those tunnels through such a densely populated city.
Mind-blowing. But you know what else blows my mind?
What's that?
This whole through-running system. I mean, the fact that you can seamlessly transition from a Tokyo Metro line to a JR line or a Tubu line, all without changing trains.
Yeah, it's like a secret handshake between different railway companies, and it makes traveling so much easier.
It's genius. You could technically travel far beyond central Tokyo, all on one interconnected journey. The possibilities are endless.
It really opens up a world of exploration.
Speaking of exploration, any insider tips for someone who wants to really experience the Tokyo Metro?
Well, I always tell people, even if you only do it for a few stops, ride the Ginza line. Just to say you did it.
Pay homage to the OG. Got it.
And if you really want to geek out on subway history, there's the subway museum near Kasai Station. They have retired train cars, old uniforms, maps, the works.
A subway museum? I had no idea. Okay, that's going on the itinerary for sure.
And if you're up for a bit of a challenge,
Hit me.
try experiencing the morning rush hour.
Okay, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll skip the backpack that day.
Probably a good call.
Well, folks, there you have it. The Tokyo Metro, a marvel of engineering, a testament to efficiency, and a fascinating window into Japanese culture. From its humble beginnings in 1927 to its status as a global transportation icon, the Tokyo Metro is more than just a way to get around. It's an experience, an adventure waiting to be had. So the next time you find yourself in Tokyo, remember, don't just see the city, feel it through the rhythm of the rails, the heartbeat of the Tokyo Metro. Until next time, safe and stylish travels, everyone.